Hey everyone, this is me showing off a very early proof of concept for my web game Domus Regnum. Domus meaning home and Regnum meaning kingdom in Latin. So the idea behind the game is that you are the lord of a manor, and it's kind of a hospitality game based in Victorian or Edwardian times, kind of mixed with a little bit of what I'll call alchemy punk. There's kind of technological advancements that are all kind of based in alchemy. So that's kind of the setting. And this is me just tinkering around with a kind of PS1, PS2 esque model of a room. And as you can see through the walls. We got some little icons here for items. We've got a little visual novel engine in here, and you can say yes, and it'll do different things. So yeah, there's a little section here for controls. Here's a couple of concept images that I generated with AI. And just to be upfront about the AI, I don't want any AI artwork in the end game. I want to connect with some artists, some 3D modelers, people who are writers and can make musical scores. I am using AI for code and some kind of organizational concepts. Like a lot of the code, honestly, is AI. But I am myself a coder, and I'm not using it to vibe code so much as I'm using it as a tool to organize, refactor, do a lot of the boilerplate. And to be honest, a lot of the code, but I review all of it, and there's a lot of hand holding going on. So I just wanted to be open about that. Here's some of the credits of the textures and the mascot I commissioned and the icons I bought. But yeah, this is kind of the general idea. You know, you go throughout the days, and then there's different hospitality events where you can run your manor like an inn, or you can have tea times and make social connections with different people throughout the kingdom. Buy and sell groceries, learn to cook, run a restaurant out of your uh, manner if you want to. And so I want it to be flexible, but I'm trying to start simple. So I think the Tea Party uh, game mechanic will be the first slice we introduce. So we got a few tabs up here showing off different little demos and such. We have a builder. So this model here you see at the front, this model I built in Blender myself, and it actually took me a while to figure out Blender and learn it, but it was a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, but it did take me a lot of time. So one of the first things I had Claude Code help me out with is creating this room builder. So there's a bunch of different pieces. So I could take a plant, you know, I want a plant there, want one there. So you can kind of create a room and decorate it. There's also a bunch of built-in examples. So we have like a tiny little cottage, you see. And then one of the things that was really difficult at first was, let's take a big scene like this. So this is just a regular manor. I'll turn the walls on. Now let's say I'm like, this room's a little too small. I want to make it a bit bigger. So I would have to click this tile, drag it out a couple, this one. Oh boy, I got to do this whole wall. Dang, this is going to be a pain. I got to resize all this, and then I got to kind of move these around. That got old pretty quick. So I kind of got inspired by Blender. Blender has a sort of, they call it geometry nodes, I think. So this is the graph editor. So as you can see, this is called manor, and there's cottage, and then I have graph manor and graph cottage. So the idea is, I'll show you the cottage first. You know, just a tiny little room, and you know, you can move the little pieces around. I can take this fireplace and I can, you know, move it, or I can hit R to rotate it and stuff like that, right? And there's little buttons down here, but bad UX. I'll fix that. But you can also go into here, or you can just start fresh. You know, you can start a fresh one. And you can say, I'm going to have a rect. You're just going to define a shape. So there's our shape. There's our rectangle, and I can resize it. I can be like, okay, I want this to be 5 by 6. Oop. See, now it's 5 by 6. So now I have this little shape, and now I can take walls, and I can take this rect, plug it into here. Oh, look at there. Got some nice walls there. Look at that. I gotta fix that. The walls are still showing. And then if I resize the rectangle or move it, then the room, the walls that are bound to that move along with it. And then you can see here I can click move and I can drag this around. I can scale it, make it small or big. And then I can even, I got this from Blender. You can kind of lock it to the x-axis or the z-axis and can resize it. There's your little compass here. You can toggle it. And then you'll notice that, well, it doesn't work on that. Oh, I need a floor. Let's add a floor. I need to fix that, though. It shouldn't be bound to the floor. But yeah, if you have a floor, so if I turn this off, you see there's our floor now. It's not see-through. Little wood paneling. But now you'll see there's a navigation mesh so that little actors can run around on it. And so now if I select that same rectangle and resize it, now the wall and the floor and the nav mesh scales dynamically without me having to move every single solitary piece or define all these dots. So that's a very simple example. That was me just starting first. So here's that same cottage, but you can even have it so that these items are positioned relative to, so here's the graph. You see, it's kind of big. It's kind of big, but it saves you from having to manually move everything if you want to move everything by itself or you want to scale it bigger. See, everything sticks to the wall because you can go in here and specify relative points. If you're familiar with Roblox, this is kind of the UDIM or universal dimension, the scale and an offset. So that's how all these are sticking around. And again, I can scale by X. And then you can go really crazy. Here's the whole manor room. Got multiple rooms. And so I can scale this whole thing if I want it bigger. There we go. Squeeze that. And then there's even other elements that I can manipulate as well. So this divider wall, this is set to always be at an offset of 3 units from the back wall. So no matter how large I scale it out. See, I zoom out holding shift. See, it's always going to be 3 units wide. It doesn't. Those back rooms don't scale with the rest of the things. So I can go into my graph here, and instead of making it an offset, I can make it a percentage. I always want the rooms to be 40% of the whole space. So now, if I scale, you see they're actually taking up space. So you can do all sorts of clever things with the graph editor. And I'm working on, this is obviously a mess. I get it. But there's a couple ways. There's compact, there's layers, kind of by dependency. And then there's, this used to be a lot more chaotic, but you can actually kind of make your own nodes. So each room back here in this hall have all these items in them that are positioned relative. Let's scale it down a little bit. Looks a little better that way. So I can double click on any of these blue ones. See, they just take a rect as an input. Double click, and now we're inside a kind of a subcomponent here. So this is the input, and then these specify different positions. And then here's a couple of plants and some glowy bits for the gallery. I think the gallery must be that one right there. And then the study has a bit more in it. We've got a cabinet, right? So You can get pretty creative, and then I can reuse it. Let's say I want another study. See, I've already got one hooked into this flow, but I can just come up here and do a whole new study. There it is. See, but it's not showing up yet. It needs an input. So let's do a rect. Yep, there's our rect. And yeah, there's rect 2. Okay, so we'll do a 6 by 4. And then we'll really move it out. Move it out of the way here. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to land it right there, so you can see the rectangle there. And now I just gotta add this bad boy. And there we go. See, there's no walls. But you get that same furniture placement, right? I could add walls in this component. I decided to keep the walls outside. These little components are just for the furniture. But if I select this rect and scale it, see, it scales just like everything else. So there should be a lot of creative options that people can do with that. And then right now I'm working on adding multiple floors, so you can slide that all down, add some more, add another rect here, different. You can put this at a different elevation, so I could put 3.5. Oh, that's the size. 3.5 here. See, now we're starting to flesh out the second floor, and I can add a floor, right, and wire that in. Boom! There we go. And then I can wire some stairs up to there and have the nav mesh. See, they both have their separate nav meshes. So I could move this a little closer and then have a staircase going up in between them to connect the two nav meshes, and people would be running around. And then, yeah, you can free move. I forgot to mention that. So it's not locked to the grid. I think that's it for this. Yep. And then these two are just some like little fun demos I was playing around with. This is a little character I commissioned for fun, and this is a color mask. And so I can click any of these and just swap out the colors. I was using that for some demos. This is a bunch of pathfinding demos. This one's like 2 floors simulating different agents going up and down floors. So this would be the different, servants or maids you hire, and they're running up and down stairs, grabbing towels or ingredients for food or clearing out the trash kind of simulator. Yeah. And then of course, when you build these little rooms and such, you can actually play them in the main game. You can set it to run a little simulation here. So if you zoom out, obviously they can't get up here. This got disconnected. But you'll actually see these different colored. Here, I can switch this. Let's go into full screen and go into fly mode here. There we go. Get a little better view here. So it looks like they got stuck. Oh, they got stuck because they can't go up there. Here, let me refresh. Try this again. Okay. This should be better. Oh, let me full screen. Okay, so... Oh, no. Here, let's do this. There we go. Now it's just the regular one. So now if we full screen, they are going to run around. It's just going to randomly place junk all over the floor, and they're just going to pathfind and clean all that stuff up. Throw it into the garbage. The AI isn't great right now. Obviously, that's something we're working at. You can see they're all chasing some of the same items. But yeah, they'll run to that room to grab that coral and drop it in the trash can once they're going for that trash can. Yeah, the AI is not great, as you can see. But yeah, it's proof of concept right now, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, so I'll keep posting updates. And if you'd like to help me out with this, I'd love to collaborate. This game's just going to be a free web game, and maybe we'll have some kind of paid cosmetics or bonus material or chapters or missions or something, but there should definitely be a free-to-play version of this. So yeah, I hope you continue to follow, and I'll see you next time.